Fallout is one of my favourite gaming franchises, so a TV show being made for it should be a cause for celebration, right? Right? If only it were that simple. Hollywood has a habit of taking video games with deep lore and butchering them, inserting diversity in ways that push the main character to the periphery. Take a look at Halo, for instance. John Halo becomes a footnote in his own TV show behind some chick named Kwan. Twisted Metal became a love story between John Doe and Quiet, and the less said about Resident Evil, the better. The three greatest successes have been Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The Last of Us, and League of Legends Arcane. So now it's Fallout's turn. I would have thought Elder Scrolls would get a TV show first, but here we are. Fallout is set in the post-nuclear apocalypse version of the 1950s idea of what the future would look like. There's no transistors. They made tube technology work for them. They also figured out nuclear fusion. I really just want to be entertained. I want to see super mutants and deathclaws. I want rad roaches and red scorpions. I want raiders with armor made from tires swinging pool cues. I want gore. These things are all possible. Amazon has done well with Invincible. Plenty of action and gore. I don't want synths. Synths kind of tie the story too closely to the Commonwealth. I know. Super mutants are a West Coast thing, but we've established in-game that they are in the East Coast now, so deal with it. Why I'm worried? As I said earlier, there's been too many failures from TV and movie studios who take a character and try to diversify them. I'm worried because the people who are interested in diversity do not seem to be the people who are good at writing. These creators who value diversity are analogous to a kid who has asked for a video game console, and they swear that if they get the console, they'll still do their homework and their chores. But here we are. They've had their console since 2016 and they haven't done their homework or their chores since. In this case, making entertaining content. You had your chance and you blew it. Now you've ruined it for everyone. Vanity Fair recently released an article interviewing the series producers Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy of Westworld fame, and known liar Todd Howard. You were supposed to be the chosen one, Todd. Let me preface this by saying that it's okay to have main characters that are women. It's okay to have main characters that are black. It's okay to have diversity. The issue is when it's diversity over everything else. It's about being punched in the face with the message. First character, a woman, Lucy. Okay, that's fine. You have the option of being a male or a female in the Fallout games. Sure, whatever. And she's a bit of a cutie. Oh no, she's a lesbian, I can feel it already. They can't have an attractive woman and not make her gay. Why's she got a cut lip already? Did her dad give her a taste of the back of his hand to get her to leave the vault? I hope they somehow bring up the special stats, because I would love to see Lucy's special stats. 9s across the board. If she has one stat that's low, it would have to be agility, because that's a stat associated with women. Second character, a black guy. Okay, we're 2 from 2 on the diversity scale. Got a worried look on his face. Kinda looks weak. Uh-oh, he's not, is he? One of them has to be a homosexual in modern media. His name is Maximus, so I'm assuming he's not just some run-of-the-mill pleb. He's gonna be the son of the Elder, and therefore, not an Elder past or present, but an Elder emerging. Special stats? In traditional media, strength is a stereotypical black character attribute, as is charisma, so I'll say they'll dial those right down, to subvert your expectations. He'll be top of the class in intelligence. That assault rifle looks gigantic. Are you telling me that's the same gun the sole survivor wields in Fallout 4? Brotherhood of Steel. Xenophobic. Xenophobia is okay when it's against monsters. But will they just be xenophobic against Mexicans? They're the good guys, or the bad guys, Nolan says. Whoever the good guys and the bad guys were, they destroyed the whole world. So now we're in a much more grey area. Grey is good. I don't want the typical, well, this person is a white male, so clearly they're the bad guy thing that has been creeping into Western media lately. It's just so predictable. Hopefully they can avoid Bethesda's typical, yes, no, but really yes, sarcastic yes, more information brand of dialogue. That really does look like the T-60 power armor. I hope it looks as good in action. The things cosplayers can do nowadays, there's no excuse. They claim there's a nostalgia for the 1940s. Not so. This is the current fashion. Everyone thinks this is the latest style. The fashions just never change. This could just be the Vanity Fair writer's opinion, so we'll cut them some slack. How did humanity fare over those 2 blighted centuries? That's the wrong version of fair. Kyle MacLachlan has his Pip-Boy on, good to see. They're in Vault 33. I can't see any reference to that anywhere else. Fallout's world is filled by a sprawling ensemble including Kyle MacLachlan as Lucy's father, the Overseer of Vault 33, which essentially makes him the mayor of their hometown, so clearly a patriarchy. He's going to be ruling over them with an iron fist and assigning all the bad jobs to minorities. Moises Arias, I hope I pronounced that correctly, who as a child played Rico on Hannah Montana, sure, co-stars as Lucy's inquisitive brother. Oh boy, he's got a rat face. Looks like he'll be up to no good. Wonder if that's him dead in the vault entrance. Looks like there's been a struggle as someone has a neck brace on, and another person is lying by the vault door. Michael Emerson, who starred in Nolan's Person of Interest, and is best known as Hatch inhabitant Benjamin Linus on Lost, stays above ground this time, playing an enigmatic researcher named Wilzig. Looks like a Brotherhood scribe if ever I saw one. Looks like they're going to make them Star Wars Empire / Starship Troopers military intelligence Hugo Boss wearing military types. Most of the disparate parties are chasing an artifact that has the potential to radically change the power dynamics in this world, as Nolan puts it. Sounds like the GECK, the Garden of Eden creation kit, a terraforming device to turn the wasteland back into a lush, verdant paradise. Then there is Fallout's wildcard, its third lead figure, the sinister bounty hunter known as the Ghoul, played by Django Unchained and the Hateful Eight's Walton Goggins. The Ghoul? I'm hoping they mean the as in the only one they allow inside the city walls, and not just the only one in the show. Some of the best material in Fallout is the journals of people who can feel themselves turning feral. Ghouls are despised because they progress towards feral ghouls, not through xenophobia. It's a warranted fear. Looks like the terrible Fallout 4 ghouls. I wish they were the Fallout 3 ghouls. In the Fallout games, ghouls are typically cannon fodder, mindless zombies whose bodies have been mutated by radiation. Bzzz. That's feral ghouls. A massive distinction. Some of the best characters are ghouls. The game has already created a template for how creatures like him look, but that was dialed back for Goggins' character. For one, he's smarter than the average ghoul. Hey, boo-boo. He would naturally have a different physique and face, but there's also a practical reason to make him less ghoulish. You have to be extremely careful with it when you're putting a full appliance on someone's face because you hired that actor for a reason, Nolan says. Their face is their instrument. You want the tiny little expressions and changes that they make. No! Didn't they learn anything from Carl Urban in Dredd? You have to commit. He looks more like a burn victim than a ghoul. And I hope he's like 200 years old and wasn't just turned into a ghoul last month. Prosthetics designer Vincent Van Dyke, who worked on Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Killers of the Flower Moon, devised the look of the ghoul. I need to be able to see Walton and his performance. He needs to look like a ghoul from the game, and he needs to be kind of hot, Nolan says. No. Ghouls are not hot. Their flesh is rotting off the bones. What is this? If Lucy is the innocent of the show, then the ghoul is her polar opposite. Damaged and hardened by centuries of endless life in a state of near death. He's got a lot of mileage on him, but he's still got swagger and kind of a charm to him, Nolan says. Oh, thank God he's old. But am I detecting a hint of romance between the ghoul and Lucy? Let me guess. She's going to be the first person in 200 years to actually want to know his name. In the Fallout universe, the human beings fortunate enough to ride out the apocalypse in underground communities only had that option available to them because they had money. Zzz. You could get in with money, or you could get in with power, or you could get in with being necessary for the survival of the human race. Scientists, engineers, doctors, soldiers. Lucy is charming and plucky and strong. Strong woman! And then you see she's confronted with the reality of, hey, maybe the supposed virtuous things you grew up with are not necessarily that virtuous. If they are virtuous, they're couched in a circumstantial virtuousness. It's a luxury virtue. You have your point of view because you've never run out of food, right? You guys were able to share everything because you had enough to share. So it's anti-communism? Oh, it's about privilege. Oof. Lucy was born into this vault. She had no choice. Don't denigrate people for things they can't change. Themes of haves and have-nots? How about the Red Scare? How about communism? How about China? Can they have China as the bad guys? Not just to avoid claims of racism, but also to allow sales in China. Vault Boy not only appears in the show, but the imagery even gets an origin story, which we won't spoil here. That was something they came up with that was just really smart, Howard says. Okay, it was found inside a game of Monopoly? Nah, too easy. It has to be someone diverse. This is 2023 after all. They say it's really smart, so it must be something really dumb. There's the classic story of how it was meant to be, the whole, if you hold your thumb up over the mushroom cloud and it's bigger than your thumb, you're too close thing. Gender and sexuality, the elephant in the Hollywood writers' room. Women can do amazing things, but make sure they do them in a believable way. No unarmed 50-kilogram girl judo throwing a Brotherhood paladin bulldust. Have her lure them into a trap. Use an electromagnet to disable them. Outsmart them. Outthink them. The only groups to have a male leader will be evil. So I'm thinking the Vault is evil, and the Brotherhood will be evil. I haven't seen any Enclave. The NCR is there, but they'll be the good guys because it's California, so they'll have a female mayor. Maybe that's who Sarita Chowdhury is in charge of. What are the odds we get an amazing, super brave, super capable Brotherhood of Steel paladin that everyone oohs and ahs about? And while they can't see their face, they assume it's a man, only for it to be a woman! Please don't make every third character gay. It's becoming a trope. Every fourth person at a maximum. Someone has to be trans. I don't care how they phrase it, but someone's gender will have changed, either through direct action or by a result of the radiation on their body. Somehow they'll work it in. It has to start with Ron Perlman saying war never changes. It won't, because that's an extra cost, but someone, probably Walton Goggins, will say it at some point. And we can all point and say, that's the line from the game! I wouldn't mind if we saw the entire first episode being set in the Vault. Give it that feeling from Fallout 3 when you first exit the Vault and realise how big the game is. I'll never forget that moment. For me it was at night because I took too long to leave the Vault. I'm a tightwad and use the beds to heal instead of stim packs. I want infrequent comedy. Too frequent comedy lowers the stakes and makes everything so meaningless. They should be using comedy to lighten the mood in-universe. If they want heaps of comedy, use background Easter eggs. The music needs to be old songs of the 50s, and songs from later decades that sounds 50-ish. No modern music. If they want modern music, get Miley Cyrus to cover Patsy Cline. I don't want to hear Imagine Dragons. Finally, the show is canon. That won't come back to bite them. Hopefully they don't mention many events from the games. What are the odds the very next game contradicts it? Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider subscribing. I release reviews occasionally when time allows, and a thumbs up would be a big motivator for further reviews. If you didn't like it, feel free to leave a thumbs down and let me know how I can improve in the comments below. Anyway, I'm Mixie, thanks for your time, and have a good one.